Good day. I am assigned to discuss Chapter 3, the external assessment, or also known as the external auditing. Let's start by reading a phrase from a famous biologist named Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. It means that no matter how strong or intelligent a species is, that if they don't have the ability to change their ever-changing situation and environment, their chances of surviving would be very limited. And it is also applicable to the business sector. For the introduction, this chapter examines the tools and concepts needed to conduct an external strategic management audit, sometimes called environmental scanning or industry analysis. An external audit focuses on identifying and evaluating trends and events beyond the control of a single firm. An external audit reveals key opportunities and threats confronting an organization so that managers can formulate strategies to take advantage of the opportunities and avoid or reduce the impact of threats. The nature of an external audit. The purpose of an external audit is to develop a finite list of opportunities that could benefit a firm and threats that should be avoided. As the term finite suggests, the external audit is not aimed to develop an exhaustive list of every possible factor that could influence the business. It is aimed at identifying key variables that offer actionable responses. Firms should be able to respond to the factors by formulating strategies that take advantage of external opportunities or that minimize the impact of potential threats. External forces can be divided into five broad categories. First is the economic forces. Second is the social, cultural, demographic, and natural environment forces. Third is the political, governmental, and legal forces. The fourth is the technological forces, and the fifth is the competitive forces. The economic forces. Economic forces refers to the nature and direction of the economy in which business operates. Economic factors have a tremendous impact on business firms. There are key economic variables to be monitored: the inflation rates, gross domestic product trend, unemployment trend, import or export factors, price fluctuations, tax rates, the federal government budget deficit. An economic variable of significant importance in strategic planning is gross domestic product or the GDP. Especially across countries, trends in dollars value have significant and unequal effect on companies in different industries and in different locations. For example, the pharmaceutical, tourism, entertainment, motor vehicle, aerospace, and forest products industries benefit greatly when the dollar falls against the yen and euro. Agricultural and petroleum industries are hurt by the dollar rise against the currencies of Mexico, Brazil, Venezuela, and Australia. When the value of dollar falls, tourism-oriented firms benefit because Americans do not travel abroad as much when the value of the dollar is low. Rather, foreigners visit and vacation more in the United States. The social, cultural, demographic, and natural environment forces. Social, cultural, demographic, and environmental changes have a major impact on virtually all products, services, markets, and customers. Small, large, for-profit, and non-profit organizations in all industries are being staggered and challenged by the opportunities and threats arising from changes in social, cultural, demographic, and environmental variables. There are key social, cultural, demographic, and natural environment variable. The number of marriages, number of divorces, number of births, number of deaths, immigration and immigration rates, life expectancy rates, attitude toward government, and ethical concerns. Political, governmental, and legal forces. Federal, state, local, and foreign governments are major regulators. The regulators, subsidizer, employers, and customers of organization. Political, governmental, and legal factors, therefore, can represent key opportunities or threats for both small and large organizations. For industries and firms that depends heavily on government contracts or subsidies, political forecast can be the most important part of an external audit. Changes in patent laws, antitrust legislation, tax rates, and lobbying activities can affect firms significantly. The increased global interdependence among economies, markets, government, and organizations makes it imperative that firms considers the possible impact of political variables on the formulation and implementation of competitive strategies. Some political, governmental, and legislative variables. Governmental regulations or deregulations, change in tax law, special tariffs, number of patents, changes in patent law, environmental protection law, the legislation on equal employment, political conditions in foreign countries, and lobbying activities. Technological forces. Revolutionary technological changes and discoveries are having a dramatic impact on organizations. The internet has changed the nature of opportunities and threats by altering the life cycle of products, increasing the speed of distribution, creating new products and services. To effectively capitalize on e-commerce, a number of organizations are establishing two new positions in their firms: the Chief Information Officer or the CIO and the Chief Technology Officer or the CTO. This trend reflects the growing importance of information technology in strategic management. A CIO and CTO work together to ensure that information needed to formulate, implement, and evaluate strategies is available where and when it is needed. These individuals are responsible for developing, maintaining, and updating company information's database. Examples of impact of wireless technology in airlines. Many airlines now offer wireless technology in flight. In automotive, vehicles are becoming wireless. In banking, Visa send text message alert after unusual transactions. In education, many secondary and even college students may use smartphones for math because research show that this to be greatly helpful. In healthcare, patients use mobile devices to monitor their own health, such as calorie consumed. In politics, President Obama won the election partly by mobilizing Facebook and MySpace users, revolutionizing political campaigns. In publishing, e-books are increasingly available. Competitive forces. Collecting and evaluating information on competitors is essential for successful strategy formulation. Identifying major competitors is not always easy because many firms have divisions that compete in different industries. Many multi-divisional firms do not provide sales and profit information on a divisional basis for competitive reasons. Also, private health firms do not publish any financial or marketing information. Characteristic of the most competitive companies. There are 7 characteristics that describes the most common competitive companies. First is to strive to continually increase market shares. Second, use the vision mission as a guide for all decisions. Third, continually strive to improve everything about the firm. Fourth, continually adapt, innovate, improve, especially when the firm is successful. Fifth is to strive to grow through acquisition whenever possible. The sixth is to hire and retain the best employees and managers possible. The last one is to strive to stay cost competitive on a global basis. The Competitive Intelligence Program. What is competitive intelligence? Competitive intelligence, or the CI, as formally defined by the Society of Competitive Intelligence Professions, SCIP, is a systematic and ethical process for gathering and analyzing information about the competition's activities and general business trends. Good competitive intelligence in business, as in the military, is one of the keys to success. The more information and knowledge a firm can obtain through its competitors, the more likely it is that it can formulate and implement effective strategies. Major competitors' weaknesses can represent external opportunities. Major competitors' strength may represent key threats. The process of performing an external audit. The process of performing an external audit must involve as many managers and employees as possible. Involvement in the strategic management process can lead to understanding and commitment from the organizational members. A company first must gather competitive intelligence and information about economic, social, cultural, demographic, environmental, political, governmental, legal, and technological trends. Individuals can be asked to monitor various sources of information, such as key magazines, trade journals, and newspapers. Once information is gathered, it should be assimilated and evaluated. A meeting or series of meetings of managers is needed to collectively identify the most important opportunities and threats facing the firm. These key external factors should be listed on flip charts or a chalkboard. A prioritized list of these factors could be obtained by requesting that all managers rank the factors identified from 1 for the most important opportunity or threats to 20 for the least important opportunity or threats. Freud emphasized that these key external factors should be: it must be important to achieving long-term and annual objective. It should be measurable. It should be applicable to all competing firms. It should be hierarchical in the sense that someone will pertain to the overall company while the others will be more narrowly focused. A final list of the most important key external factors should be communicated and distributed widely in the organizations. Both opportunities and trends can be key external factors. The industrial organization's view. The industrial organization's approach to competitive advantage advocates that external factors are more important than internal factors in a firm achieving competitive advantage. Proponents of the IO view, such as Michael Porter, contend that organizational performance will be primarily determined by industry forces. Competitive advantage is determined largely by competitive positioning within an industry according to the IO advocates. In conclusion, all business and organizations operate in a changing world are subject to forces which are most powerful than they are and which are beyond their control. Just as a ship at the sea is subject to powerful natural forces of which it needs to be aware and deal with, organizations are influenced by forces in their external business environment. Any business strategy needs to take account of all these forces so that opportunities and threats can be identified and the organizations can navigate its way to success by matching its internal strength to external opportunities. That's the end of my report. Thank you and stay safe everyone.